Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be putting together a little container garden of herbs. I think I said probably last week that I happen to have sort of like picked up extra herbs over the last couple of weeks, not really intending on doing a herb garden at all, but I thought actually it'd be a lovely addition to the garden anyway, and then it means I've got herbs to use while I'm cooking. So I've picked up a really lovely planter and a couple more herbs so that I can fill it out a bit, and I'll just show you how to put one together. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is the planter I've picked up. It's actually like pretty big. It's maybe like, I think 60 centimeters wide, and it comes with this little liner that I'm going to use, which is just to, you know, stop everything falling out the bottom. I do really like it. I do sort of love this sort of rustic wood kind of look, so we'll see how this works out. So I've got this little liner here, which yeah, it's just a massive big sheet of plastic, which is fine. What I'm going to do, pop it in, I'm going to pop some holes into it just to make sure that it actually does drain well. So what I'll do is, while I'm putting it together, I'll leave it hanging over the side, I'll fill it with some compost and we'll put the stuff in it, and then I'll trim it down right at the end. This is why it's handy to have like a garden knife or pen knife or something like that. So just going to make a couple of holes. Okay, there we go. So we've got a couple of holes for drainage, which should work just fine. And I'm gonna get a couple of large stones just to put in the bottom, partly for drainage and partly so that I don't have to use quite so much compost in filling it up. And then we'll pop those plants in. So this is just compost from a compost bag. I didn't I didn't make it. I am in the process of putting some compost together, and I will do a video on how I do that as well, because I think it's one of those things that actually saves you so much money in the long run, having your own compost. This is taking too long. I'm just going to pour it and try not to injure myself. There we go. Oh, she says. Okay. Okay. So it's about halfway full, and I'm going to set out the plants that I've got in it, and then I'll fill it up a bit further once we've done that. Okay, so these are the plants I've got. I've got some mint, got some oregano, which I picked up a couple of days ago. I really love this plant actually, and it's a real bee attractor as well. So I've got that. I've got some sage here. We've got some thyme, which is actually just going into flower. Some lemon verbena, which got a little battered by the wind. If you see that there, it's just kind of, yeah, it's got a bit spindly because I'd left it out and it was quite a windy day. So, and some chives. So the one thing I am going to do is leave the mint in the pot. I'm probably going to put it relatively close to the back, but I'm going to leave it in the pot, and I'm going to leave the little lip on the edge of the pot just above the top of the compost, and that's just so that the mint doesn't spread, because that's what it likes to do, and I don't really want it to take over the whole container. So I'm gonna yeah, leave it in its pot, but the rest of them I will take out and set around. So this is the oregano. It's actually quite a big plant. I don't know, it's obviously been growing very well at the garden centre. And then put the chives in. These are chives that I started myself actually a while ago. Oh, look at that, it's a good root ball, isn't it? loads of really good roots there. I'm just going to prise them open a bit. It was getting a little bit pot bound there, which is probably why it's still so small. That will grow quite a lot, to be honest. It does have like these beautiful purple pom-poms later on in its season, well, in the summer usually. So let's pot up the sage as well. I've got 2 sets of sage, but I'm just going to put both of them in, actually. I was thinking about, like, I don't know, putting one in the house or something, but it's fine. I still haven't figured out what recipes I'm going to use for all this sage, so do feel free to sort of to let me know what you think would be a good idea, what I could use it for. I don't know if it's good in drinks either, but I feel like it might be. If it is, that's a little bit tight, that one, then I will use it to make some cocktails if I can. So this thyme that I bought is actually a little bit pot bound, so I'm just going to pull out some of the roots around the bottom. There we go, and pop that one there. And I'll put this lemon verbena at the front. So it should, apart from anything else, smell really good. I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. It is actually looking pretty full. I'm going to fill in all the spaces with some compost, and then I will cut back this black, well, plastic, so that you can't see it, and then hopefully it will look very lovely when it's finished. Okay, so I've moved the planter from the bench onto the ground because I realised that as I added more compost, it was really going to get too heavy, and then I wasn't going to be able to move it. So now that I've got them in place, all I'm going to do is sort of bury them slightly into the compost that's already in there, and then fill around them, and then cut down the edge, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So here it is. I think it looks pretty nice actually. But what I am going to do is just cover the soil on top with some stones. I've got some blue slate left over from a different garden project, so I'm going to put some blue slate over the top and yeah, see how that goes. I think it'll look quite nice. It should sort of make the green pop a bit more because it's a good sort of alternative colour. So I'll pop that on and then I'll bring you back. So there we go. 1 herb plant. There was some mint, some chives, some sage, oregano, lemon, verbena, and some thyme. Honestly, it smells so good. I'm so sorry. Obviously, you can't smell it through, like, you know, the video, but my goodness, it smells absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to put this at the back of my kitchen, by my kitchen window, well, the other side of my kitchen window, and leave it to happily grow away in the sunshine and be able to use loads of these amazing herbs in my cooking. Well, I hope that you liked the herb garden that I made. I actually quite enjoyed doing it. It was a nice, just little thing to be able to do. I do think it made quite a good present as well if you wanted to, you know, give something nice to somebody who likes to garden. The whole project probably cost me about £40. That's for a couple of reasons. The first one is that I bought that container new, and it was £30. There were obviously loads of cheaper ones available. I just really liked it, so yes, that's what I spent on it. And I already had the compost as well. If you don't already have compost, or you don't have enough compost, what you could do is mix like half garden soil with half compost, because that will definitely bring the cost down a bit for making that type of a container garden. The other thing that I did was get some of my plants for free. So the sage got given to me by a neighbour, I had some chive seeds that I planted way ages ago, like at the beginning of this year. So they've grown and put those in. And all the other herbs that I bought, I actually bought on sale. Because it's coming towards the end of the season, most garden centres will have like a clearance section, you know, just a bit where they've got more plants than they've been able to get rid of. And particularly in like the grow your own section, those sections tend to have quite a few plants available for you. So that's what I did in order to pay for the herbs. So I think I maybe spent £5 on plants, and I've got loads. So, and it's looking really lovely. So I've put it at the back of my kitchen, like the other side of the kitchen window, which means that when I open the window, it should smell lovely. It may also mean that I get bees inside though, because lots of the plants that I've put in actually are plants that bees love. So we'll see. I might have to move it if that becomes a bit of a problem. It shouldn't do this late in the season, but you never know, do you? Most of the things that I've planted should last fine through the winter. The herbs are perennial herbs, but if it gets quite cold, I will cover them with some fleece just so that they are not, totally, killed off by frost. The other thing to look out for is just the normal things. I've put those stones on top because they will help to suppress weeds a bit as well, so a little bit less weeding. Although as those plants grow, they'll fill the space more, so actually there won't be a lot of room for weeds. And the other thing to watch out for, as always, is slugs. They like to eat everything, so I will be keeping an eye out for those as well, just pulling them out and rehoming them. I don't tend to kill them, I just rehome them to other places in the garden if I find them. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, please do leave a comment below. It'd be lovely to hear from you. I'd love to chat with you. Let me know what other herbs you're growing and maybe what you're using them for as well. In particular, I know I have mentioned the sage. The other herbs I use pretty regularly, but yeah, I'd particularly like to know if there's a cocktail that I could do with some sage in. That would be quite good. So let me know in the comments below. Please do like the video, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.